My name's Sam. I'm a Christian. I was born in Iran, but we've been living in San Jose for a few years now. My family's originally from Tabriz. My grandpa used to own a small herb shop there a long time ago. I don't remember my grandma very well, just the old prayers she used to whisper under her breath, some faded photos, blurry memories, and the smell of saffron and rose water that somehow still sticks in my head. We first moved to Los Angeles, then later came to San Jose because of my dad's job. My dad, David, still does this thing every Christmas Eve. Instead of saying a Christian prayer, he quietly recites an old Persian prayer his mom taught him. My mom, on the other hand, is obsessed with Christmas decorations. She always insists the tree has to be big and covered in lights. Sometimes she'll say stuff like, "Your grandpa always said you should never leave a prayer unfinished on Christmas night." And what happened that Christmas? Even now, when I talk about it, my eyes always drift toward our Christmas tree, like whatever it was could still be standing there, close, watching. Like every year, Christmas Eve started out normal. We set up the tree, put the presents underneath. The best part was decorating the tree, which my sister Laura and I mostly handled. While we were bringing decorations up from the basement, we noticed an old box. Written on it, in faded handwriting, were the words, "Grandma's Things." We loved digging through old stuff. We opened it, and it felt like a forgotten world came back to life. Cracked yellow soaps, crystal beads catching the light, rusty rings, scraps of old fabric, random objects that smelled like history. But one thing stood out, a small golden angel. It was handmade, tiny, and weirdly lifelike. What was strange was that it had been kept inside a locked glass box. That didn't make sense. Why lock something like that up? I figured it had to be important. Laura and I took the angel upstairs and put it on top of the Christmas tree. By 10 p.m., it was time for dinner. We sat at the table and started praying. Right away, we heard a noise from the living room. I turned my head and saw one of the tree branches move, like something had hit it. For a second, I told myself I probably hadn't secured one of the ornaments properly. I took a deep breath and kept eating. After dinner, everyone was tired. Laura stretched out on the couch next to the tree while my parents cleaned up. I looked at the tree again. The golden angel was still up there with that half smile, but now it felt like it was staring straight at me. The colored lights reflected off its face, throwing shadows on the wall. The shadows kept changing. Sometimes they looked like wings, sometimes a hand, sometimes like a face standing right behind me. Suddenly, Laura said, "Sam, did you see that?" "See what?" I asked. Her voice shook. "The angel blinked. I swear it did." She let out a short scream and jumped back. I leaned in to look. Nothing. Just the same plastic angel. Lifeless. Glassy eyes reflecting red and green light. I told myself Laura was just tired. Kids imagine things. But when I stood up, the air felt heavier, like the room was holding its breath. From the kitchen, Mom called out, "Sam, come help me put the dishes in the—" Her voice cut off mid-sentence. I walked toward the kitchen, but with every step, I felt like something was moving behind me. No sound, just the shift in the air, like when someone stands way too close and the hair on your neck rises. Then my dad came out of his room and said, "It's really quiet tonight, huh? Usually you can hear the neighbors by now." He was right. Outside the window, the street was empty. No wind, just a thin layer of fog blurring the streetlights. But why did I feel like Dad had already been in the kitchen with Mom? I went back into the living room. Laura was curled up under a blanket, only her eyes visible. She looked at me and mouthed, "Sam, it's looking again." I didn't want to scare her, so I smiled. "You're just sleepy. Your eyes are tired." Dad, clearly done with our nonsense, went back to his room. I walked toward the tree, pretending to fix one of the lights. I couldn't bring myself to look directly at it. I reached up toward the top branch, and my fingers touched something warm. Not plastic, not glass. Something softer, like skin. I yanked my hand back. Nothing was there. When I turned around, Laura was gone. The blanket was crumpled on the couch, still warm. "Laura?" I called. No answer. From the kitchen, Dad said, "She probably went to the bathroom." But the bathroom door was open. Empty. I looked back at the tree. The angel was tilted now, like it had shifted its weight. Under the tree, on the carpet, there was a small, wet footprint, like someone had walked barefoot. The prints led to my bedroom door. It was closed. I was sure I'd left it open before dinner. I put my hand on the doorknob. It was freezing, way colder than it should have been, like opening a fridge. I turned it slowly. The door opened with a quiet sigh, like someone finally letting out a breath. My room was dark. Only a thin strip of colored light from the tree cut across the floor. There was a smell, fresh pine, sharp and strong like broken branches leaking sap. "Laura?" I whispered. No answer. But I heard breathing, soft, like a kid trying not to cry. The floor was cold under my feet. The wet trail led to my bed and stopped, like someone had sat there, pulling their legs in. I sat down. The mattress sank slightly, but not enough for Laura's weight. Lighter, much lighter. I reached under the bed, where Laura liked to hide. My fingers touched something. Hair, long and soft, like hers. I pulled it out, just a strand. But when the light hit it, the color changed, from dark to gold. I looked up. The small plastic angel from the tree was sitting on my pillow, smiling that same half smile, staring straight at me. I picked it up. Its glass eyes were locked on mine, and somehow the smile looked wider now. My heart was pounding. I walked to the closet. The door was half open. I didn't remember leaving it that way. I reached into the darkness. The clothes were hanging still, except one of them moved. Not from air, like something was breathing behind them. "Laura?" I said again. My voice shook. Then I heard her voice, muffled, distant, like she was underwater. "Sam, come here. It's coming. It's waiting." I stepped into the closet and slowly closed the door. Through the crack, I saw the living room door slam shut on its own. And written across it, in the same golden color as the angel, were words, scratched, not written. "You didn't finish the prayer." Laura was suddenly beside me. She grabbed my hand. Her hand was ice cold. From behind the door, Dad's voice came, close but muffled. "Sam, where's Laura?" I opened the closet and rushed to the door. I turned the knob. It wouldn't open. Not locked. Something was pushing from the other side. Silence. The angel in my hand suddenly felt lighter, empty. "Finish the prayer, Sam. You're the only one left." Then something came out of the tree. Not a branch, a hand. Laura's hand, but golden, shiny. It grabbed me. Then another hand, bigger, my dad's. Then a third, my mom's, all pulling. I remembered the prayer, every word.
I started reciting it, my voice shaking, louder and louder, but with every word the room felt smaller, the tree felt closer. The trunk pressed against my chest, the bark scraped my face. I said the final word. Everything stopped. The lights went out, one by one. When I opened my eyes, I was sitting on the living room floor, my back to the tree. Moonlight filled the room. My hand was shaking. The angel was in my hand, cold, plastic, lifeless. Then I heard my mom's voice. "Sam?" She stood in the kitchen doorway, Dad behind them, Laura beside them, wrapped in a blanket. I ran to them and hugged Laura. She was warm, alive. Dad said, pale, "Why did you get up in the middle of the prayer, lock yourself in your room?" My stomach dropped. Mom whispered, "Sam, why are your feet wet?" We all looked at the tree. It stood perfectly still. No hands, no footprints, no writing. But on top of the tree, the angel was gone. I looked at my hand, empty, sticky, and it smelled like pine sap.